Jemma's new animal. It was a Monday morning. The children in Miss Baker's class were reading their books. "Stop reading now and look at me," said Miss Baker. Jemma did not want to stop reading her book. She was reading a story about Pet Mouse. The mouse was lost in a supermarket. It was a funny story, and she laughed. "There is a craft fair at school next week," said Miss Baker. "What's a craft fair?" asked Billy Cat. "We are all going to make things and sell them in school. That is a craft fair, Billy," said Miss Baker. "Everyone is going to make something today, but the children in Mrs. Moon's class will not make anything because they are too young." At lunchtime, Jemma and her best friend Mandy talked about the craft fair. "I can make a car from wood. I made one last year," said Mandy. "You can knit something for the craft fair," said Mrs. Kelly, their favorite school helper. "I like knitting." "Yes, that's a good idea," said Jemma. "I knitted 3 scarves for my sister's teddy bear. I've got some knitting needles. I only need some wool. Then I can knit something for the craft fair." In the afternoon, Miss Baker took out pieces of cloth. There were long pieces, short pieces, pink and purple pieces. There was also a piece with silver stars on it. Billy Cat wanted to make a magic puppet with that special piece. Next, Miss Baker took out the box with the pieces of wood. She put some tools and glue on a table. Then she put out a plastic tray of knitting needles and balls of wool. They were different sizes and colors. "I'll put these things on the table. You can go to one of the tables. Don't all go to the same table," said Miss Baker. Most of the children wanted to use wood or cloth. They did not want to knit. "Knitting is difficult," said Billy Cat. Jemma wanted to knit. She wanted to knit a mouse like the one in her storybook. She found a bowl to pink wool. "You can't knit a pink mouse," said Mandy. "A mouse can be any color in a story," said Jemma. She started to knit slowly. Then she stopped and looked at the picture of the mouse in her book. The mouse in the picture had a round head. Jemma could only knit a square, so her pink mouse had a square head. She used the pieces of cloth to make the ears. They were long and thin. Then she sewed on 2 buttons for the eyes and different buttons for the nose. It looked all right when she sewed it together. When she tried to knit the body, however, it looked wrong. Jemma asked Miss Baker to help her. "You should make the body again, Jemma," said Miss Baker. Jemma started again. The mouse looked a mess. "It's wrong," said Jemma sadly. "You should knit a head coming out of a hole," said Mandy. "How do I knit a hole?" asked Jemma. "I can't knit a hole, but perhaps I can knit a sleeping bag for the mouse. I can knit a long piece and fold it in half. Then it will be a sleeping bag." She got some yellow wool from the plastic tray. Miss Baker was very busy. She was helping all the children. "Read the book if you are waiting for help from me," she told everyone. "Put your things on the craft table when you've finished." At half past 3, the craft table was full. Billy finished his puppet. It had a magic wand in its hand. Mandy's car was red with yellow wheels. There were dolls, paper flowers, and a boat. There was a square pink mouse in a yellow sleeping bag. There was a lot of mess on the floor and on the tables. I want you to pick up all the mess, then we can go home, said Miss Baker. What's that? Asked Billy Kent, pointing to the mouse. It's a mouse, said Jemma. It isn't a mouse, said Billy. It's a square and pink. Mice aren't square and pink. Jemma looked at Billy Kent and said slowly, It's square and pink, then it's a squink. It's a skink, 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 square and pink, 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 sang Billy Kent, dancing around the room. Everyone laughed. They wanted to look at the squink. In the morning, Miss Baker put the crafted things on the crafted table and said, Now write the name of your craft on a label. Mrs. Moon is going to bring in a class. They will look at your craft. Jemma liked Mrs. Moon. She was always kind and never looked angry. Jemma wanted to write her label neatly so Mrs. Moon could read it. How do I spell squink? Asked Jemma. It's not in the dictionary. I know, said Mandy. Write square and pink. Cross out R in square and P in pink. Write the other letter together. That's squink. Mrs. Moon came in with the young children. They were frightened at first. Come in, said Miss Baker. Stand around the table and look at the things. The children in my class made them. You can buy them at the craft fair next week, said Mrs. Moon. The young children stood around the table. What's that? Asked the small boy in an orange jumper. He was pointing to the squink. Mrs. Moon read the label. It's a squink. What's a squink, Miss Baker? She asked. It's a new animal, answered Miss Baker. Jemma made it. I wanna, said the boy in the orange jumper. I wanna, said the small girl wearing glasses. We want one, we want one, they all shouted. Children, children, said Mrs. Moon quietly. There's only one squink, and there are 26 children. The bell rang. It was lunchtime. Mrs. Moon took the young children back to their classroom. Now we can have some peace and quiet, said Billy Cat. You can't need 26 squinks for next week, Jemma, said Miss Baker. 25, Billy Cat said. We've already got one. Miss Baker was not listening to Billy. She was thinking about the squink. Mrs. Kelly, the school helper, came into the classroom. It's time to wash your hands, she said, and smiled at Jemma. Did you knit something yesterday, Jemma? Can you knit, Mrs. Kelly? Asked Miss Baker. Mrs. Kelly can knit very well, said Jemma. Can I talk to you after school, Mrs. Kelly? Asked Miss Baker. When the children arrived at school the next morning, Mrs. Kelly was sitting next to Miss Baker's table. Mrs. Kelly had 2 big bags. They were full of pink and yellow wool. Mrs. Kelly can knit very well, said Miss Baker. She's going to help us make a lot of squinks. You can all make a squink. Not me, said Billy Kent. I can't knit. I will show you, said Jemma. Come and sit with me and Mandy. Jemma will help you to knit a skink, Billy, said Miss Baker. We will have a special skink table at the craft fair. Everyone worked hard. They knitted and knitted. Billy Kent knitted 3 yellow sleeping bags and stopped. That's good, Jemma said, but where are the squinks? I'm tired now, said Billy. It's hard work. I don't like knitting. Come on, everyone must work hard, said Miss Baker, or we won't have enough squinks for the craft fair. It was the day of the craft fair. Jemma and Mandy worked at the squink table. They sold all the squinks in half an hour. Every children in Mrs. Moon's class bought a squink. They made little houses for the squinks in the classroom. They made a big book called The Adventures of the Squink. They drew pictures of their squinks. They took their squinks everywhere with them. They even took them to the supermarket. The end.